Hello, welcome to the Chessboxing podcast. This week we have got, what's your title, Shayan?
The King.
No, your chessboxing title.
Oh, yes. After my kingdom, it's European Middleweight Champion.
That's right, yeah. WCBA European Middleweight Champion, Zarein Dolab. And we also got Felix. Hello, Felix. Hello.
Hi.
How you doing, Felix?
I'm alright. Pretty tired.
So the first time ever that anyone's ever seen Felix tired was today. So why is that, Felix?
That was a pretty intense sparring session. I'm not gonna lie.
He had to go against the King today, and yeah, I don't know about that.
So how did you find sparring Shayan?
It was tricky, but I managed to land some hits, which is more than usual.
It's true. You did get a few.
Yeah, when you're fighting Shayan, it's like punching smoke. He's just not there.
His head movements all over the place. Yeah. How did you find sparring with Felix? Have you sparred Felix before?
Yeah, I think we sparred quite a few times. But yeah, Felix is always good. He's coming forward. He's you don't want to get hit with his punches, which is why I'm out of there when he throws them. Yeah, he's good. He's got the fitness. He's got the power, and he just comes right in at you. So you better get out of the way.
Yeah, so we had a full class today, but we dedicated a sparring session to some of the guys who are taking part in our next event, which is Seasons Beatings at the Dome, Tufnell Park, 10th of December. So we just had yourselves, Rich Frazer, and your opponent, Francesco.
Yeah.
You were all sparring together, which meant that you got a full 30 minutes sparring between the four of you.
Yeah.
So, I mean, how many minutes do you think you got actually in the ring today?
I think I had 9. I had 9 rounds, right? I don't know how long the rounds were, but I feel like I had I feel like maybe Zoe forgot who he put on. I definitely had more rounds than average, I think.
And how did you find the sparring with Francesco?
Well, that was also why it was so tiring, because obviously, you don't normally, play easy with sparring, but...
Well, you don't.
Especially with Shayan, because, this is the first time we've met since the fight has been set up. So I haven't seen him since. I haven't seen him for a few months, so it was quite serious. Yeah.
We're going to probably, if you're watching this on YouTube, we're going to put some clips of the sparring session up there. But I thought Francesco, when he started in against Rich Frazer, for example, he looked really good. He's quick, his movement was good. And I think everybody, I think they just ran out of steam. Particularly him, but I think everybody ended up... Actually, you weren't too bad, Shayan.
Well, I think that's why Felix got so many rounds in, because, Zoe, our coach, sees who's got more strength left in them, and he gives them the extra rounds to push everyone to the limit. So, which is why probably Francesco had a few less rounds than the rest of us, and you had the most rounds, because you were the fittest there. So there you go.
I pushed myself for sure.
So Felix, I think our audience would love to know a little bit about your background, because obviously you're a fit guy because you're a high level sportsman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. What high level sport do you play?
Okay, so I play Kabaddi, and since my last fight in December, I've actually had quite a few international matches.
Yeah.
So in March or April time, we flew to Bangladesh to play against played against Bangladesh, Sri Lanka and Malaysia. And then we also... it was also the first British Kabaddi League, which was broadcasted by the BBC. So that was pretty exciting.
Nice.
And also we flew to Italy and played against Poland, Sweden and Italy. And we won the European Champions.
Wow.
Championship, and won first time.
So you're a title holder as well, just in a different sport.
Yeah, first time with tournament earnings.
Also, I don't know if you knew, but we went to the cafe after training one morning and watched some of your while you were out there.
Yeah, we did. Yeah,
that was cool. Yeah. So are you looking forward to the show? I mean, is preparation going well? You looked good in the ring. How's the chess going?
So I mean, I've done a lot of boxing throughout the year, but I think it's time to pick up the chess a bit, because I've only recently started like getting back into it. I think now that everyone doesn't work from home, it's a bit harder to like find the time because you have a bit less time.
You're saying instead of working, you just play chess. Is that what you're saying?
No, I'm saying
Felix's boss, if you're out there.
But yeah, I'll start on the puzzles again. And we'll see what happens.
Yeah, chess is one of those things very hard to train. Especially people who've been playing chess for so long. You get to a certain rating and you kind of plateau. You can't. It's very hard to improve it, and sometimes those puzzles are just boring. You want to play a game against someone, but yeah, you have to push yourself to do puzzles after puzzles after puzzles.
How did you train for your last fight?
I kind of thought about what sort of opening I'm going to do. At first, I looked at a few different openings.
Were you white or black?
I was playing black, so I looked at a few openings for black, and I picked one. And then
Did you assume he was going to play E4?
I didn't assume anything. I just thought, what opening do I want to play? And then I just went on chess.com and I played that over and over and over again. Any game that was coming up, I was just playing that.
Because you were fighting Daniel Rotta, who's a very experienced chess boxer. But what if he'd done an opening, completely different opening, like a Polish opening, and surely you can't just necessarily always play the same opening as black?
Would you
have done that?
I would have tried to play as close as possible I could to that opening, because this is the worst thing. When you go into a high pressure game and you start playing with moves and especially me who've lost on time, I think twice now. There was no way I was going to go into something I haven't played before.
Daniel Rotta is known for moving quickly. That's like a tactic that he uses in almost all of his chessboxing.
And this is the thing, I asked Richard, I asked everyone about, this guy, and no one told me that.
What? Really?
So, yeah.
Well, in fairness to Richard, he didn't even get around to boxing because he lost in the first round of chess.
So this is after.
But that's what happened though.
Yeah.
He plays quick, and Richard, instead of stopping and thinking, he got drawn into playing quickly, and that's why he missed the queen trap.
Yeah, and this is one of the things I said to myself from the beginning. I said, there's no way I'm going to stress, especially, you get to the event quite early, I don't know, 4 o'clock or 5 o'clock. And, my event was the last one of the night. There was no way I was going to stress out for 3 hours, 4 hours. So my key aim was relax, sit down, watch some of the fights. Don't be standing, don't be stressing. Before you know it, you're stressing 1 hour. That's all your energy's gone. By the time you get to the ring, you got nothing left. So that was my main goal. And, I saw him playing fast straight away. And I thought, I'm not going to get drawn into that. I'm just going to take my time. I know I've lost on time before, but I'm going to take it easy. I'm just going to take that few seconds. The last thing, and you did tell me about the queen traps, right? So I was like, I did look at queen traps as well before the fight. So I was like, there's no way I'm going to fall for a queen trap. And the irony for him to fall for my queen trap. So that was and that was it after I think it was the third round, so the second chess round. He saw a free pawn, took the pawn, and then with the bishop I checked his king, which opened the way for me to take his queen. So and it was all over for him then, and especially the fact that he wasn't ahead in the boxing either, so I had the better of him in the boxing. But fair play to him. He had another fight at 2 weeks after, right? So and he went there and he had 4 wins to his record. So I was definitely the underdog there.
Yeah, if you looked at your records, they were basically opposites.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I thought it was a great fight. I think I don't know about you. I mean, you were there and doing it, but from the sidelines, it looked like his chess was affected a lot by the boxing round.
Yeah.
Did you see that play out on the board?
I think it was very even when I looked back. One of the grandmasters that I don't recall his name, he was commentating.
Simon Williams.
Yes, yeah. So when I was listening back, he was saying that the combination of a queen knight is better than a queen and bishop. And that was the first time I had heard something like that. So from his perspective, until he made that mistake, he had a slight advantage from that perspective. But in terms of material on the board, it was even. He had the knight, I had the bishop. I think if we started to clear off the board, then I think the bishop might have been a little bit more advantageous. But I was happy to trade. It was make the board less complicated and take it back to the ring.
Yeah.
So that was sort of my perspective. Yeah, I'm happy to trade, and then he saw that free pawn.
So for you, like a well-balanced chess game was good because you felt you had the edge in the boxing.
Yeah. That was it. Yeah. So I caught him quite a few times with my sort of right hand, and I don't think he wanted it.
So Felix, let's talk about your last fight, because you fought Garode Field, didn't you?
Mm-hmm.
How did the chess go for you?
Well, it went pretty badly. Man, I think I lost what did I lose? I lost the rook
Early,
in the first round.
Yeah.
Yeah, to be fair, I did actually see there was a trick, and I saw it, and I was like, I could either just move my king away or like try and do something fancy or something. Basically, I tried to do something fancy and it backfired. and then we had the first boxing round, and then when I came back, I lost the knight, but then I didn't realize I lost it because I was still in adrenaline mode. And then when I was at home, I watched it back, and I was like, "Oh, I lost the knight."
Wow.
Because when I so at the end of the chess game, well, not the end because it didn't end, but I skewered his queen and rook, and I thought I had even material like after taking the rook, but I was actually
you were still down.
Yeah, I was actually a knight down without me knowing.
And what about the boxing? Because I felt that you've really dominated the boxing from the beginning.
Yeah.
I think there was a realization that like Garode wasn't carrying enough of a threat. Like I think you were kind of feeling each other out, and then this is how I saw it play out. You tell me if I'm wrong, but it felt that over time you kind of realized that actually you didn't have to necessarily defend as much, and you could open up your body a bit more.
I wonder if that's the case. Basically, I was losing material, and to be honest, regardless losing in material or not, I had one mission, and that was just to go forward and go forward and punch, really.
Yeah.
But then I think Garode respected me a bit too much and didn't really throw back, and then the first one he did throw back, I countered it and knocked him down for 6 or 8 or something.
Like an 8 count.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
I was actually Groyd's last minute corner man at that fight, and I was saying to Groyd, don't go head on with Felix. He's got the fitness, he's got the power there. Just dance in the ring, especially when he was ahead on the chess. I was just saying to him, dance in the ring, but he wanted to go head on, and that kind of backfired for him, as you said. Yeah.
But you have to carry a threat. You can't just dance around. You have to be able to land 1 or 2 punches, don't you?
Unless you're Shayan, it's like smoke, man.
Yeah.
Shayan
It's like chasing the dragon.
But yeah, but I think what did scare Garode even more was like the very first punch he threw got countered, and I don't think he threw another in round 1.
Yeah, I think it was a fascinating matchup, but I think you and Francesco are much better matched. I think today's sparring showed that.
Yeah.
And I think although it's going to be very interesting how the boxing goes, I think you're going to have to also compete on the chess.
Yeah. You know what was funny today?
Yeah.
Francesco was saying when we're fighting, no one's watching our chess. Like they just want to see us fight.
I've been watching your chess, definitely.
Okay, but yeah, that's what Francesco was saying today.
Do you think Francesco's chess is slightly better than yours?
I think we're quite even on chess, to be honest. But I haven't played him enough to realize like how he plays.
Have you studied his online?
I do not have access to that.
Chess.com?
Yeah, I don't.
You don't know his username?
I don't know his username.
Okay. You've got to do some research, Felix.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Roger Baxter would have been doing that. I bet he was all over your chess.com account.
Oh yeah. Do you know what? The moment I saw his chess.com account, and saw on the 3-minute blitz he's got a 2,000 rating. I was like, oh my God, no one told me about this.
Wait, how did you get his account?
One of his haters sent it to me.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, Roger doesn't have haters. I think Roger's a legend. Shout out to Roger. Come on.
No, I think it was one of his previous opponents who didn't win.
Yeah.
Sent me his.
It can be very competitive, and we've seen what's happening in world chess at the moment.
Yeah.
And yes, well, there's high prestige, high prize money. People do things, don't they?
This is it. Yeah.
What exactly? I don't know that he's done, but it's probably not very pleasant, I imagine.
But yeah, when I saw his account, I was like, wow, he's got some serious high rating, and I just thought, you know what, I'm just going to play my game.
I thought it was balanced. It was just the time.
Balanced. Yeah.
In fact, that was one of the best chess games I've seen you play, I think.
Yeah, it was a very good game, and as he said
so
afterwards,
complex though.
Yeah, it was, and towards the end, the last boxing round, anything I had in the tank, I emptied. And then when I got back to the chessboard, I was just seeing stars. Right? And I only had like 20 seconds left.
Yeah.
And you're seeing stars, you got 20 seconds left. I think at one point I put my knight on the wrong square. And he was like, what are you doing?
Well, that's it. I think if you're listening to this and you've not done chessboxing and you're new to the sport, you need to understand, you might look at Shayan's video on YouTube and think, well, his chess isn't that good, but you try doing like 2 or 3 boxing rounds and then sitting down and trying to make a chess move, it's very, very difficult. Even like the top players will, make huge mistakes, or maybe even I've seen people move the wrong coloured pieces. Like it really affects your play.
Yeah, I mean, people who go just boxing, right? As soon as they get punched in the head, they forget their plan. Let alone trying to sit down on a chessboard and continue whatever game they were playing. And we see it in training here when we do I don't know, a 10-minute 10-minute exercise or some sort of sparring or something. We go back to the chessboards that we have in training, and we kind of forget where we were, what game were we playing, what was our plan, why did I make that last move? So it's it's gone, it's out of your mind.
So you're one of the more experienced chess boxers, Shayan, now, so have you got any tips, suggestions for Felix that he might be able to take into the ring?
Nerves, I mean, it goes, people overlook it, but you just need to sit there a few times in your mind, just run through what you're going to do during the day and just relax, because you don't want to come out, suddenly see the crowd, you watch one fight earlier on, you see someone get knocked out or, take a few punches or something, and then that's it, your nerves are playing with you, and then your nerves just suck your energy into your fight. So just practice relaxing, practice calming your nerves, practice being in sort of high pressure. Even if you just run it through your mind a few times before you do it, just prep yourself mentally, I would say, because you're doing your sort of you're doing all your boxing and fitness training. You could do your as you said, puzzles and games online, but just it's the prepping that gets people, the mental prepping, and that's what I would say is prep yourself mentally.
And Felix, have you got any thoughts about some of the other bouts that are happening on the show? Let's
see. So we have
Rich Frazer,
Dan
Mayfield.
That's
some
rivalry.
Sort of
That's
trilogy.
A long
Is that a trilogy? Or is it? I know they fought at least once. Maybe.
I'm not sure, but
yeah.
But Richard has been training very hard for that. And
he is looking good, isn't he?
Wow.
I wonder
he's super fit.
I wonder if Dan has been training as hard.
Dan is one of those people that's got a weird. He's a bit like Matt Reed, this strange, like, natural fitness.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like Matt doesn't really exercise much, but somehow he just seems to have this kind of baseline of fitness that just never goes away. It's really strange. I think Dan's quite similar.
But I mean more like boxing technique.
Yeah.
I feel like Dan kind of fights quite like a karate person would. He kind of keeps his hands down, goes so kind of one punches at a time. Like,
he's a bit of a street fighter, he is, I think.
He's a brawler, really.
Yeah. He's got the movement there, and then as soon as he gets hit in the face, that's it, street fight mode. He goes in for it.
Because the last time they fought, I think Dan gassed a little bit, didn't he? And then he ended up trying to sort of grapple and slow the boxing down. But interestingly, we're going to implement a new chess boxing rule.
Oh, yeah.
that was brought in Helsinki by the Finns, which basically means as a boxing ref, you can give time penalties in the chess. So if there's, because obviously we don't have boxing points, so you can't give penalties on boxing points. But if there's grappling or there's any kind of foul play or repeated foul play, the boxing ref can give 10 seconds, 20-second penalties.
Okay.
So it'll be interesting to see how that plays out and how Ronaldo deals with that. Because it might be the case that Dan tries to slow the game down again.
Yeah.
But I think slowing the game down is valid unless, like, you know...
As long as you do it within the rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And also I don't think Richard realised that him and Dan are quite similar at chess. That he's not that far off in terms of chess ability. And he probably could have got a draw on the chessboard in that bout. And I think Richard just needs to have a bit more confidence going into the chess, because I think especially after a couple of rounds of boxing, I reckon he could beat Dan definitely on the chessboard. And we've also got I don't know if you have heard the news, we've got an Olympic gold medalist fighting. Do you know that, Shayan?
I did see something. Is it a skiing gold medalist?
Yeah, he's a freestyle skier called Berk Ruud. He's from Norway, and he won a gold at the Winter Olympics in Beijing in 2022, earlier this year.
Wow.
And he's transitioned into chess boxing now.
Yeah, so he's fighting a TV personality from a Norwegian TV channel called NRK. They're kind of like, basically like the BBC, but in Norway. And I had a chat with Berk the other day. He's got, obviously he's got professional coaching staff. So he was like, oh, it's easy. All I do is get them to like put in a boxing session like twice a day. I'll be training anyway. So I think he's obviously super fit. He's 22 years old. So I think this fitness side of things will be good. Nikolai's a little bit older. And obviously, you know, he's not a professional sportsman, so he's probably got a bit further to go in terms of his fitness and boxing coordination. I think they did spar a couple of weeks ago, so
Nice.
I think it'll be really interesting to see how they both develop. And we've also got a female bout as well.
Yeah.
We've got Killer Queen Marie versus Juliana Barron. So that's very exciting, seeing a female bout at the Dome again after 6-7 years now.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I think Marie was due to fight last time, right? She was trained for it and ready, but it was a sort of last minute pullout from our.
COVID related.
Yeah,
so we obviously we don't have that to deal with now, which should really make the show a lot more fun. We've obviously got like a full audience. We've got I think we sold about 70% of our tickets already,
Wow,
and we're only we're not even in November yet. So we'll definitely sell out. I'm trying to get the Dome to release some more tickets.
I need to tell my friends that.
Yeah.
I haven't invited anyone yet.
You do need to, yeah. Have you got any shout outs, Felix?
Shout outs.
Yeah, say hello to family members.
Oh yeah. It was really funny because I didn't really know what to say in the post-fight interview. So I shout out my parents and
yeah,
stuff.
that was so cute.
And then they
really
watched it and they were
endearing.
like, are you winning an Oscar? Like,
No, I thought that was great.
but again, shout out to my To be honest, I never know what to say, but shouting out to your parents is always, the safe bet. So shout out to
Nice.
mom and dad and my sister. And now they actually know about the sport because I kept it pretty hush last time.
Okay, are they going to come to the show?
I don't know how I'd feel about that.
Okay, maybe not. Maybe
'Cause,
watch it
like-
online then.
Yeah, if I win. No, it's just jokes. But I don't know. It's weird having your parents there if you get beaten up. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did a fight with my mum in the crowd. I don't know. I don't think she liked it either. I think it was fine afterwards, but it's probably not what you want to watch necessarily as a mother.
yeah.
Yeah.
Did you do a shout out to them after your Kabaddi win as well?
Oh, there was no interview
there was
after
no
that.
Yeah.
Ah.
Oh well.
Just a Twitter post. Shout out to
Well, I
one.
I mean, imagine if they had to interview 7 people because it's 7 on 7
Yeah.
and the subs.
And what about you, Sean? Any messages?
Messages. I did do something interesting. I did do a chest diving.
Oh
event.
yeah, tell us about that. Please tell us about that. Yeah.
So you know what? I saw it. I think it was your newsletter, right? You put in the Chessboxing newsletter, chest diving. So I thought, to be honest with you, I thought there'll be quite a few chess boxers there. But I went there. It was me and a couple of other guys. So I thought, why not? I can hold my breath.
Yeah. Oh, you actually did it as well. I didn't realise
I did
you
it. Yeah, I
Really?
competed. Yeah.
Okay.
So
How was it compared to chess boxing in terms of like being able to play chess?
I think I should have practiced a few times because there was a couple of things that I didn't even think. For example, my goggles were anti-glare goggles.
Yeah.
So when I went underwater, I couldn't see the pieces. Right? You want that clear goggles.
Yeah.
I know that now, obviously.
So you're actually playing blindfold chess?
Literally. And I went... and the worst thing is you go down there, right? And either your opponent's made a move or you've made a move, and they haven't fully put the piece on the square. So I went down there and I took the guy's piece. I come back up and he's like, you can't take that. I'm like, what do you mean? I just took it. He goes, yeah, but it wasn't on that square. I'm like, what square was it on? So he's going down. And then there's another problem. You have to make sure you make your move while you're down there. Because when you come up, your opponent thinks you've made your move. He's gone down. Yeah. I'm like, no, come back. I didn't make my move. So, and then there's the problem where you go down there, you're looking at the board, and then by the time you're thinking what to do, because you've got so much air in you, you're already coming up. So then you're trying to hold yourself down.
Yeah.
Oh, it was difficult.
Can you use weights? Can you just?
No, you can't.
You're not allowed to.
Not allowed to use weights. So, and when I was speaking to some of the other guys, they'd been training for months. And one guy flew in from Poland specially for this event.
How many minutes could he hold his breath then? I guess that's an advantage, isn't it?
Yeah, because there's no timer, right? So the longer you can hold your breath, the more time you have to think.
Yeah.
But it's not just holding your breath, it's staying down there as well, because if you come up, that's it, you get a sort of penalty.
I guess also being able to keep the chess game in your mind, so when you come up you can still think about your next move.
Yeah, so there's that as well.
Yeah,
and it was difficult. I was not expecting it to be that difficult. And then I was thinking, I haven't been in a swimming pool for 2 months or 3 months or something, and now I'm trying to play chess underwater with these goggles. I can't see any. Whose idea was this?
Wait, so what happens when you go up without making a move?
So it's technically you technically forfeit, right? But they give you 1 or 2 strikes. So you get kind of 2 strikes. You're like, I didn't make a move. You go down, make a move. But there's the other part where you're down there and you're just about to go up. So you're thinking, let me take a piece. And you're trying to take this piece with one hand. And by the time your body's kind of coming up, you've put the piece on the wrong square. Or
How deep is it? Is it just like shallow end or deep end?
It's pretty shallow. I mean, you could stand up. It comes up to your shoulders.
Okay,
right?
It's not that deep then.
It's not that deep. But, trying to stay down there, trying to see the pieces.
They should combine it with actual like highboard diving.
Yeah.
Like dive down like 5 meters and then play.
And then do it, yeah. But then it's the whole thing, right? What if you put your piece not fully on a square? You kind of put it on half on this square, half of that square, because you're coming up. Or
what are the rules on chess if you put a piece that's not in the middle of the square?
Well, you should.
You just adjust it, I suppose.
That's how it should be. Yeah.
But I guess, you haven't got time to adjust it. They're pieces of you. You want to be playing chess.
Yeah. So I think we should all go one time. Get a swimming pool. We'll all go, and give it a go. And they all knew about chess boxing, right? So they were like, "Bring your belt, bring your."
Oh, right. I saw the photo of your belt. Yeah. Is it Ethan?
That's the gentleman who...
the guy who runs
that's right.
it.
Yeah. So...
Yeah.
So he follows the chess boxing stuff, and I think he was the one who started it, and they run it every year. I think next year we should probably all head down there. Yeah.
Was it like on a Sunday night at like
it was,
10 o'clock at night?
Yeah. And do you know what? It was at the Leonardo Hotel, and there's 2 in London, right? So I turned up at the wrong one.
Oh, mate.
And I'm saying chess diving. They're looking at me like I'm crazy. So I had to call him. I was like, mate, where is it? He's like, no, the other one. So I got myself to that one, and it was fun. It was pretty cool.
Awesome. Well, shout out to Diving Chess, and we'll maybe put a link underneath this if you're watching YouTube, this video, or if it's a podcast, we'll put it in the show notes. But I think maybe we should wrap it up there, guys. Thanks very much for being on the podcast.
Thanks for inviting.
Thanks, Felix. Thanks for fighting, Felix. We're looking forward to you seeing you in the ring again.
Oh, thank you.
And and thanks for fighting, Shayan. Your bout against Daniel was epic.
Yeah, it was great.
And you can see all of their fights on our YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/chessboxing. If you want to buy tickets for our next show, you better get a move on, because they're nearly sold out. You can go to chessboxingnation.com. And the other big thing is we're obviously going to have a live stream on the 10th of December. So check that out. We're getting a lot of interest for our live stream on our YouTube channel off the back of a big show that's happening in LA around the same time. So shout out to Ludwig and all his guys, and particularly Lawrence Trent, who's going to be fighting there in LA. We're looking forward to watching that the day after our event. That's it. Wrap it up, guys. Thanks very much. Thanks, Lister, and we'll see you in a couple of weeks.
Take care, guys.
Bye.